Hey, what's going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and we are live for Open Mic. And as always, we're going to get started with a few words from our sponsors, and a big thanks to them, as well as all the patrons, because I wouldn't be able to do this, everything that I do, without all of you. So here we go.
InDigital is on a mission to improve the 911 industry. Our goal is to create something better to go above and beyond the current standards. Our passion for creating the most advanced, well-designed solutions led to our position as an industry leader in next-gen core services. For the millions of calls processed over our emergency IP networks, to our Text for 911 solution, Texty, to our disaster recovery and backup solution, Mevo, it's easy to see we love what we do. For more information, check us out at www.indigital.net.
Rapid Deploy believes that every public safety agency, regardless of size, should have access to the data they need when it matters most. That's why since 2016, our mission has been to reduce emergency response times and improve public safety. We are the industry's only integrated emergency response platform. Our web-based cloud platform includes analytics, mapping, dispatch, and mobile apps, purpose-built for 911 in the 21st century. Visit www.rapiddeploy.com to learn how we enable effective, efficient, data-driven emergency response.
If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
Dispatch.
There is no one over here to cook our lunch. We are waiting for our lunch, and there's no one here to cook our lunch.
All right, calm down. Where are you at?
The group home. Now, what are you going to do?
We'll get some help over there for you, okay?
Welcome to Open Mic, where we visit the lighter side of dispatch, because laughing is good medicine. Hey, what's going on? Again, this is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network. This live broadcast is sponsored by InDigital as well as Rapid Deploy. And I'm going to go ahead and throw some branding up here. And to my left is my mom. Hey. So I have been teasing that you were going to be on, that there was going to be a special guest. And look, people are already here saying, "Mom, Gloria."
Hello. Hola.
Yeah. Oh man, you should have seen us right before we were doing all of this. We were laughing. We were just laughing about a bunch of stuff and just trying to figure out how we were going to do this. So here we are. We are live at my mom's place, and she's my special guest. Now, a lot of you have heard me talk about a bunch of stories from when I was growing up, and my mom has been in a lot of the sessions, which I'm sorry. There's been a lot of things that you've read there, and you know, probably some embarrassing stuff that you've heard. I know that whenever I was done with the session, you would send me a text message and say, "You're so crazy."
Yeah. Oh.
So what we're going to do today, so this is going to be a little bit different. Now, Open Mic Live has always been where you have come on and you have, you've given me a bunch of stories and we've read those off. Well, this one is going to be a little different in the sense that we're going to recap a few stories. Okay. Now, some of you may have been on before when I talked about how I got caught skipping for the first time, or when God, it's so hard to say it in front of you.
It's because you're close to me right now.
I know. I'm afraid that when I flipped her off, when I was a teenager and I flipped her off.
Yeah. Was not funny there.
I know. And now I feel
Yeah.
bad and everything. So we got a bunch of people that are joining in here. So I do want to start it the same way though, as I usually do. So it's Thursday. You know, we're here at the end of the week and everything. Dawn, backhand is going to fly. Maybe. So how are you all feeling? How is everything going? From a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being crappy, of course, and a 10 being great, how are you feeling? How are you feeling?
Right now, I feel higher than a 15.
All right.
Because I have you
She's
here. at
flying
home.
high. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. So as we're talking about this, a lot of you maybe have seen the video of where I came in and surprised my mom that I was here. She didn't know, like I had told her that I might be coming over here, but I never said anything else after that. My sisters knew that I was coming, and I told them not to tell her, of course. So actually, you know, what happened in the beginning was I'm already recording on my phone and I'm knocking on the door. I figured she was going to open the door and we were going to have the surprise right there. And the door opens and it's my sister Crystal. She's like, she's over there. I was like, oh, okay. So I come in and I'm knocking on the door. And when I open the door,
Well, I was on the phone trying to order some tires for my car. And I had the lady on the phone and she just started saying, ma'am, are you okay? And I just threw the phone and turned around and of course I saw Rich and it was just really exciting, but I had to apologize to her after I went back because she was still holding on.
well, see, and that was the other thing, because I didn't know that I had heard you say that you were on the phone, but I thought you hung up at that time because, you know, we were hugging and all. But then I heard her. She's like, hello, ma'am, hello.
Yep.
I was like, are you on the phone? You're still on the phone? It's like, I'm
Yeah.
getting tires.
Yeah. So then I had to explain.
Yeah.
But she was pretty good.
that was funny. Let's see. Let's look in the comments here really quick. So we've got some that are at a 9. We've got Tracy here. She's look at that. She says, I'm at a 5. She's tired, but your mom is making me feel better. So, all right. See, so you're throwing some numbers
Good.
up there already. So I'm hoping that after we talk about what we're going to talk about, your number will end up going up. Because, you know, this is what we do. We take an hour out of time to just forget about all the crap that's out there and just have some fun together. So let's see. Let me go back up here. We've got a lot of people saying hello. We've got yep. Oh, we got someone asking, ¿Cómo está?
Bien, gracias. Thank you very much.
Yeah, excellent. Let's see. We got a lot of homeboys and homegirls up in here saying hello, Mom.
Well, hello to everybody.
This is awesome.
Now you can actually see who I am when I comment on this.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now they can put a comment to the face. Oh man. So all right, we've got a few people here that are at a low number. Again, like I said, hopefully we can bring that number up for you by the end of this broadcast. And we're going to be talking about some some funny stuff here. So what I want to start out with, excuse me, is I want to start out with the fact that when I got caught skipping for the first time.
Oh, yeah. That was heartbreaking.
Dude.
So we just we never expected it from you. We never expected Rich, our first child.
Oh man, this is
Skipping
horrible.
out.
This is already bad. Oh
Yeah.
man. Okay,
Turning
so
into McDonald's.
yes. So for really quick, for those who are watching right now, how many of you this is your first time? This is your first time for an open mic live. So I want to see what's coming up here shortly. We got some people who are throwing in some emojis of them laughing and stuff. So, somebody told me, "Don't dude your mom." Dude. Oh man. Yeah, see, another one. Glenna, you can't call your mom dude. I know. It'll be okay. Yeah. Otherwise, you're gonna see her throw a chancla at me. Yeah. Which is like, like a sandal or a shoe or something. Mostly a sandal.
La chancla.
Yeah, la chancla. This is what we do. Yeah, okay. So before we get into this story, there have been some times where when I was still working for In Digital, that I would be traveling, and my mom would stay up late. And when I would flying to Indianapolis, I would be driving home sometimes at like almost midnight, and I would be getting tired, and I didn't want to stop. I just wanted to get home, and so I would call my mom, and we would just be talking and laughing about the dumbest things, and talking about some of the stuff that we're going to talk about today. And it would it was good. This is what we do. We laugh, and it's always fun. We got somebody here, first time from Canada. Hello. That's excellent. It's okay. All right, good. So we have some people that are here for their first time. This is excellent. So this is a story, obviously, that you haven't heard. Again, so for those who are joining in for the first time, a lot of the times what we do is everyone in the comments will share their funny or outrageous 911 calls, and I will read them. And we basically just, laugh for an hour, sharing stories and all this other stuff. But this is going to be a little different, where I've got my mom on as a guest, because usually she is in the comments while some of these stories are going, and some of the stories are embarrassing, and I'm still reading them. But now she's right next to me. And yeah, it'll be a little different. Let's see. Heather says, your In Digital peeps have been working in our center. Great folks. Excellent. They do some excellent work. Yes. And Don says they usually end up being about poop and back farts. See, and now you get to laugh with me.
Yeah, I usually laugh by myself.
Okay, so this is what you're going to end up seeing. Is us just cracking up. Okay, so I don't even know where we were at now. Oh, yeah, getting caught skipping. So
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Glenna says, no, what we normally do is talk about poop and farts. And another person just said, but am I lying? Okay. But there are a lot of calls, apparently, that seem to deal with that. So, yes. Can it be an open mic story? Maybe one about eating pie and drinking wine? There's a lot of open mic stories, yes. That one seems like it means something else. So let me just kind of set the stage here. So I'm in high school. I'm with my my girlfriend at the time, and then my 3 cousins. And we wanted to go to Holland. This is in Michigan. And we lived in Fenville. And we snuck out of school, and it was between classes. We just
Yep.
we just left. We got in our cars and we took off, and we ended up going to Holland because we wanted to get lunch. And whether it was, I don't know, whichever place we wanted to go to. So we go there, and we're sitting in McDonald's, right? And we're sitting kind of like a table like this. And over here is the window where the line starts. Okay. Again, this is lunchtime, and we're having an excellent time, and not a care in the world. And I remember we're laughing, and I look to the right, and who's there in the line but you and Dad? I mean, what are the odds that you guys would be there? I mean, it was like the good Lord, just placing you there to catch us. and they're there. And I remember my jaw was dropped, and I'm looking at my parents laughing and having a good time. But then my dad turns and looks at me, and his smile is gone. It's like
Yeah,
looking.
it was scary. Yeah.
Well, it was like I was looking at death, because we locked eyes, and I swear he peered into my soul and was like, "You're dead," and just like the car took off, burning tires and everything. He took off, and I remember freaking out, and I'm sitting there and I'm yelling at all of them, saying, "We're hit." Like my parents were just there. They just caught us.
Yeah.
And I remember my cousin was yelling at me to go run and hide in the bathroom. And I remember saying to her, that's not going to help. It's not going to help at all, because they already saw me. Well, then you walk in. And then I knew I was really dead, because it wasn't Dad who was walking in. It was you.
Right.
So let's start there.
When he was walking in, or when we were going around the back
when,
of
when you took off around the back,
yeah.
what happened?
Oh my gosh. Well, we were driving around. I talk with my hands, so you're gonna see me do this a lot. We were driving around McDonald's to go through the drive-through, and we see them through the edge. Both of us, we saw them as we were driving through, when they were all sitting there with big smiles, and they turned around and looked at us, and all their faces went boop. And but when his dad looked at me, I thought, "Oh my God, please help." We went around. We didn't stop at the drive-through. We went around, and as we were going around, he said, "What are we gonna do?" And I said, "I don't know." And he said, "Well, I know." So he went around and he parked the car, and he sat there and he said, "I think you better go take care of it, because if I go in there, it's not going to be good." And I said, "Okay." so I got off and I walked in there, and I saw everybody's looking at me like, "Oh." And then, of course, my nephews and nieces were like, "Oh, hi, Tia Gloria, how are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, good." And I thought, "Oh, Rich, come on."
Well,
Yeah.
I remember you being a little more aggressive, actually.
Yes, I was.
You
I
said,
want to like really.
I remember her
Yeah.
walking in and her saying, "What are you guys doing here?"
Yes.
And my cousin saying, "We just came over here to eat lunch." And I'm just sitting there just sweating. Like I probably smelled like the Big Mac that I was eating. Because it was horrible. Like I was sweating out the burger. And oh man. And so she says that, and you tell me to get up, and I remember you turning back and looking at them and saying, "I'm going to tell all your parents."
Yes, I did. I said, "And you guys are going to tell your dads and your moms. You're not supposed to be over here. You need to go back to school." But I didn't say it this calmly.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like-
It was not
I think the whole place in McDonald's hurt me.
probably. Yeah, they probably. Well, they were probably enjoying it, and if it was if it was now that happened, everybody would have been on with their phones recording it and stuff and posting it all over the place, because you were
Yeah.
destroying us there.
Yeah.
So then I get into the car and we take off.
Mhm.
And from McDonald's back to the school, or back to the city that we lived in, it's what, a good 30-35 minutes or
Yep.
something.
Mhm.
And we sat in silence,
Yep.
and no music, no nothing,
No.
just the sound of the car and us breathing.
The sound of your dad thinking
Yeah.
what he's going to do.
Right, huffing like a bull. And I remember I remember sitting there, excuse me, and finally saying something.
Yep.
And that was the wrong thing to do, because as soon as I went to say sorry, I remember Dad going off, and I remember you just kind of looking back at me like, "Shut up."
Yeah, try not to explain right now. Don't do it.
Yeah, so I'm trying to say sorry, and my dad is yelling and stuff, and I think you had thrown a couple things in there as well, but you were mostly saying, we didn't know where you guys were. If something would have happened to you, we would have never known.
Right.
And
Mhm.
which is a valid. It was all valid. It was all valid. And and I remember Dad saying, "Do you have any idea what's in the trunk?" And I remember thinking for a moment, like, a shovel? or like because I'm dead right now. but you guys had just you had just bought brand new tires and rims
Yeah.
for my Camaro.
Because we're going to surprise you because you were doing so good in school.
Thanks for throwing that one in there. Oh man.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So I had an 83 Z28 Camaro, jet black, T-tops. Oh, it's beautiful. And I had been asking for rims and tires for a long time. And you got them.
Yep.
You ended up
Yep.
getting them, and I screwed up.
Yep. And we
So-
almost took him back too.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we almost did.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we almost took him back.
Oh man.
But then your dad decided, no, we got to do it a different way.
Well, okay, so we get to the school because they brought me back to the school, and I remember getting out of the car, and I was walking into the school,
Yep.
and I thought I was alone, but then I saw a shadow by me, and it was Dad.
Yep.
And so did you guys say anything? Did he say anything to you before he got out of the car? Because I got out of the car and I thought you guys were gone.
Yeah. Yeah, you got out of the car and you went inside. You were going inside. And he said, so what do we do? And I said, well, maybe you should go and talk to the principal and see what's going on with all this.
Oh,
Why are they not
What?
keeping an
It
eye on the
was you.
kids? And he said, I think you're right. That's exactly what I'm going to do. And he went.
yeah. Okay. So, there you go. I didn't know that,
Yeah.
but again, valid, all valid. I
Yeah.
deserved it. So I'm walking in, I see that shadow there, and it's my dad. And I remember looking at him and I said, What are you doing? And he goes, I'm making sure you go to class. And I said, Oh, okay. And then we go inside, and in the high school, there's like this little this not a lobby, it's just like an open area right in the beginning when you first enter. And if you go to the left, there was a bunch of pictures
Mhm.
of like alumni. And if you went to the right, you would go to the cafeteria. So right after that was the principal's office. And I remember I walked right past the principal's office, and I heard Dad say, what are you doing? And I said, I'm going to class like you told me to. I'm like, like,
Yeah.
you already got me, man. I'm going to class. And he goes, no, you're coming back over here. We're going to go talk to the principal. And I thought, oh no, it just gets worse and worse. So we go in, and the administrative assistant that was there, I remember she was friends with the both of you. You know, you guys grew up together and went to
Mhm.
school together and stuff, and she was working there. And I remember her saying, "Hi, Richard," and he goes, "Where's the principal?" And she goes, he's over there.
Yep.
He's having lunch as we're walking in."
Yep.
And Dad's like, "Whatever, we're
Yep.
going in
You
right
walked
now."
Straight in.
And my dad sits down, and I go to sit down. He's like, And so I'm standing in front of the principal as he's eating, and then he goes, what seems to be the problem? And I looked back, and he goes, go ahead, tell him what you did. And I'm just sitting there, or standing there rather, and oh man, it felt like years that I was standing there, but it was just a split second. And I look at the principal, and I said, Mr. Rummer, my parents just caught me skipping school in Holland. I went over there, for lunch. Now, mind you, I didn't mention that there was anybody else there with me at the time.
Right.
And I left it at that. And all he said was, oh, well, all right. Thank you for telling me. Go to class. And I thought, yeah, yes, I did it. I made it. I was okay. So I go to leave, and my dad goes, get back over here. And then he looks at the principal, and he goes, that's all you're going to do? And then I'm standing there frozen, and the principal goes, oh, all right. Who was with you?
Yeah.
And then I had to
You
tell on
rat out.
everybody.
Mhm.
I had to rat everybody out. And then they gave us 10 hours of detention.
That was satisfying. I think you deserved it.
You were so like nonchalant about it. Like,
Well, yeah.
I was satisfied with that. It was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Excellent.
Jeez. Oh no.
But that wasn't all. Yeah, you were grounded for a long time.
Yeah, so I was a band geek. I played the saxophone, and I'm in high school, and I was driving this car, right? But they grounded me for what, a month or two or something.
Yeah.
And then I was riding the bus. So I remember riding the bus, and my younger siblings being on the bus, and I was like, doesn't your brother drive like that cool car? And they're like, yeah, he got in trouble. I remember my brother saying that.
So for a whole month, he had to sit there and drive or ride on the bus and see that car, that beautiful car with those beautiful tires sitting there, not being able to be moved.
I like how you
It's
say
funny
it.
right
So
now, but it was, well, it was funny, but not now, not then. Oh.
you're like, that beautiful car,
Yeah,
all black, T-tops.
yeah. Really nice rims that he wanted for so long.
Oh man. Yeah, exactly. Dawn says here, now you have kids and is justified. Yes, I've told this story. I had this. So my 8-year-old daughter, Lola,
Mhm.
and then Logan, my 16-year-old, we were sitting at the table, and Dad is there. He was visiting for the weekend, and we're talking and stuff. And I don't remember how we got onto that story, but I'm telling the story, and my kids are both looking at me, and they're like, "Why? Why did you do that?" And I was like, "I took a chance." and I said,
Wow.
"I tell you this so that you don't ever do it." And they're both looking at me and saying, "I would never do that." I'm like, "Good, good."
Mhm. Never say never.
Heather says that's a month of life you'll never get back. No, but I didn't learn my lesson.
No. Ah,
I wasn't a bad student or anything. I was just bored. Like I was acing my classes. I was just bored.
mhm.
And we ended up going that time, and I got caught. I wasn't caught again, but
But there's other ones. Yeah, I'm sure there is
I mean,
that I didn't know about. It's a good thing we didn't know. Mhm.
I'm 39 years old, but you're giving me that look right now, and I'm like,
Ah.
what? Let's see. Tracy says here, was the Big Mac worth it? No. Well, you know what? Actually, yes, because it's all about experience, right? Living
Ah.
all about the experience, because now we're laughing about it. I wasn't laughing then, but it's
Yep.
funny. Yeah, it is funny. My good friend Hank says, good thing you didn't stop for a gas station burrito first. Thanks, fella.
Oh.
So I didn't write this story down, but I need to bring it up so that we can talk about this, because now we're kind of getting your side of things. I got to know about this. So hold on. So there's another story that I told from when I was in high school, and I was doing good in my government class, but I was skipping that class. and that I happened to get home early. Okay, I got home early. Again, this is in high school, man. Okay. I got home early, phone rings, I pick it up, and it's my teacher. And he was calling, and
Go ahead, say it. Go ahead.
my dad and I sound very much alike on the phone. So I pretended to be my dad. I took a shot.
Yeah.
And I thought I got away with it because I'm talking to my teacher, right, on the phone. And I'm saying, man, I said, as soon as Rich gets home, he's going to hear from me. And I remember the teacher saying, oh, Richard, it's fine. You remember the way you were in school. And I remember thinking, what? How was he in school? So anyway, I got through the talk with my teacher and I thought, yeah, made in the shade. I did it. Awesome. Took a shot. I made it. Well, my parents, whenever we had parent teacher conference, they would go with us. It didn't matter how old I was or if I was in high school or anything. They genuinely cared and wanted to know how we were doing in school, which I appreciate that. Thanks, Mom. So so this time though, and my mom always was the one who would come with me to my conferences, and my dad would go with my younger siblings. So for whatever reason that day, at the last second, you guys switched
Yep.
on me. And dad was the one who came, and I thought, no, I'm doing fine in class. It'll be fine. You know, I'm still, you know, I'm getting really good grades and everything else. Everything will be fine. And everything was fine. I went through every single teacher, you know, I had A's and B's and all. And then we get to the last teacher, and it was my government teacher.
Yep.
And I had completely forgotten about the fact that I spoke to him. And I get there, and hold on a minute. Let's see. Don says, so wait, I assume your birth name is Ricardo. At what point did you become rich and then go back to Ricardo? And why do you keep changing it? So in school and growing up, everyone called me Rich. My family calls me Richie.
Yep.
They call me Richie.
always
My
be Richie.
yeah, my actual name is Ricardo. But when when I started working, well, just basically when I started working, when I got older, is just when I was using Ricardo, when I used my
Right.
actual name. But with
Mhm.
my family and friends and everything, they call me Rich. No, Don, it's not a multiple personality disorder. It's just what family has called me. But also in school, when I graduated, I wrote my name down as Ricardo Martinez II, which is my actual name, but they put on their Richard.
Richard.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they still put it on there as Richard Martinez, and I'm not sure why. But anyway, that's it. So, of course you are. You can, of course you are, Don. You can call me Rich if you want. Yes.
Call him Richie.
There you go. You can call me Richie. So we go up to the teacher, and you know, before we sit down, he shakes our hands and everything. And we sit down, and I'm sitting there just in my head, starting to play music in my head already, because I'm like, they're gonna talk. I'll come in later. I'll be kind of listening. But then I hear him say, Richard, it was really nice talking to you a couple weeks ago. And I just sat there and I started sweating, and I didn't even know what to do. And and I remember feeling this burning into the side of my face, and it was my dad. It was dad staring at me. And I finally turn around like in slow motion and look at him, and he goes, so we talked, huh? And I'm just staring at him, and in my head, I'm like, you're dead. You're gone. Like, you should run right now. You should run. And so then I turn around and I look at my teacher, and I said, I'm so sorry. It was actually me that you talked to. And he goes, oh.
See, that was what's so hard, that he always admitted to his his wrongdoings. So then we had to figure out how to punish him.
I took a
Couldn't
shot.
Figure it out.
I took a shot, and I thought I made it. And you know, I kind of did, but you know, I ended up I got caught. So I remember that happening, and my dad saying, get out of here. He's like, go wait in the hallway. And I'm waiting in the hallway, and dad finally comes out, and a few of my friends had come up, and they're like, hey, oh, and they're like, dude, you're done. And I was like, I know, I am, like, save me.
Yep.
So we end up leaving, and dad just goes off on me, and I think I got grounded again from the car and a bunch of other stuff. So I want to know on your end, Did you guys have a conversation about that? Do you remember that incident?
Yes. Well, when you guys were walking out, or he was walking out, he came up to me and he says, "No sé creer qué pasó con este muchacho." And I'm
You
like,
got to translate. You got to translate.
Yes. He said, "You will not believe what happened with this kid." And I said, "What?" He goes, "No, no puedo creerlo. I can't believe it." He says, and I said, "Okay." And I looked at Rich, and Rich's eyes were like this big. And I told him, "Now what did you do?" And he said, and this was behind his dad's back. We were having this little conversation, him and I. And then I looked at him and I looked at his dad, and I said, "Well, what happened, Richard? I can't talk about it right now. Gotta go home. We gotta go home. Let's go. Hurry up. Hurry up." And we all got in the car. We went
Oh
home.
my God, I'm sweating right now. Like I must have blacked out because I don't remember you and I having a conversation.
And he goes, "Go to your room." And Rich went to his room, and then he was sitting there and he goes, "Can you believe it? No puedo creerlo. After, I can't believe it." He said, "After everything that we do, and how do we ground him, Gloria? Because he's, straight A student. He's doing really good, but he messes up this way. I can't understand it. ¿Cómo puede ser eso? How can he do this to us?" And then
Oh
he
my
says,
God.
especially pretending, that he's me on the phone. And the teacher explained it all to me, and I just could not believe it. He goes, "Well, I gotta say, he does sound like me." He did say that. He
Yes.
said, "But nope, he can't get away with it."
Oh,
So grounded.
oh man.
Yeah. But that,
You know, it's cool to know that side because I didn't know that. I didn't know you guys, and that's why I wanted to know as well
yeah.
if you guys had a conversation about it on the other side because obviously, like I said, obviously I blacked out because I don't remember you. I vaguely now, as you describe it, remember us talking, but yeah, I got in trouble and
Although there was times that I would tell him, just let it go, just do this, do that. Nope, because there's 3 little ones watching him. There's 3 of them that are watching him do it. His other
this is
3
true.
siblings, yeah. And I
Yes.
said, "All right." Oh,
Oh,
So,
this is
yeah.
horrible.
Ah,
Oh man. Okay. We're like halfway through this, but I have to know from what we have been talking about and everything, a lot of you had numbers that were low. Where are your numbers right now? We've got a few more stories to talk about. I hope that you have been enjoying what we've been talking about here. Again, this is a special episode of Open Mic Live. You know, usually we're sharing funny 911 stories and everything else, but I wanted to bring my mom on because you're usually in the comments or people know that you're on here and they'll say hi and
Yeah.
I've seen you talk with them and everything, so I wanted to have you on so that we could share some of these funny stories of of our interactions. So it looks like Mandy is up at an 8 from the 5 that she was before.
Oh, great.
So that's awesome. That's excellent. And let's see, we got someone saying, "What did I walk into?" Well, this is my mom. This is my mom, Gloria. And we are talking about some of the funny stuff that happened with me growing up and also getting her side of the story on a lot of different other things. And it's so good. So excellent. This was a story that I hadn't written down. I've got some notes right here on some of the stuff that we're gonna be talking about. But this was one again that I wanted to mention so that we could get your side of the story. And let's see, Heather says Ricardo is usually apologizing to you. Yes, because some of the stuff we say on here is pretty out there, pretty outrageous, but it's 911, man. You can't make this stuff up. And it's hard to read some of the stuff knowing that you're on because it's embarrassing, but I do it anyway.
Although it's very interesting, though. It's interesting to know what the 911, people go through, the dispatchers. And I think that it's very, very good that people are, letting out their stories and, laugh.
Yeah, it's good
Make
medicine.
it funny. Yeah.
And that's what we do. We come
Yeah.
on here, we share these stories, and we laugh, and we get through it. So, oh, there's actually a question for you.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Dawn says, question for Gloria, and it'll be a second here.
Oh.
I'm sure she's typing it right now, but it'll pop up here in just a moment. So again, we've got a couple other stories that we're going to get to because they're pretty funny. This is only an hour because I have to fly back home tomorrow pretty early, but we might go over a little bit because of the stories. So, okay, it says, Gloria, do you still sit and watch our stories and think to yourself, that really happened? Surely that can't be true.
On
Or-
some of them, I think that because I think, wow, can that really happen? But then the more I think about it, I think so because there's people out there that are, what do I want to say? When they call in, they're so in a hurry to talk, to say what they want to say, that it comes out that way. And it's funny, that to be able to hear it that way. And then to try to make sense of it. And then you're thinking, oh, I'm trying to help this person, but how can I do it? Because, do they really mean it this way or that way? And I can understand that because when I called in one time when they broke into the house. Yeah. And then the police got out there. They said, well, how did you call in? And I said, well, I called in. I was in the bedroom and I was trying to get to the door. And he says, well, that was us knocking. We were calling you. We were telling you, to open the door. And I was like, oh, okay. But, we get so nervous when people call in and stuff like that. Then, so I do understand that. Yeah, I believe that,
That's interesting
funny.
because I don't think I knew that part.
Yeah.
So just kind of to go back a little bit with the story. This was what, 94, maybe 95, something like
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
Dad was in Texas because his mom was real sick and stuff. So he and his brothers and his siblings were out there, and it was just us.
Mhm.
And we had come home from it was we were doing a play. We were going to do a nativity play, and we were practicing this play. And my mom and my aunt, they were sewing the costumes and everything. Well, we go home. It was pretty late when we got home, so it was my mom. It was our grandma, my mom's mom, and then my younger siblings. I'm carrying mom's Singer sewing machine, and we walked into the house, and there was a little porch area, and then the front door, and it was Christmas time. So when you opened the door, we had this long string of bells, and you always knew when somebody was coming in because you would open it and you would hear all the bells jingling and stuff. And I remember, excuse me, I remember that I turned the doorknob as I'm holding onto the sewing machine, and the door just opened up. And I remember looking back at you and saying, "Did you leave the door unlocked?" And you went, "No."
Yeah.
And I remember we all ran.
Yeah.
Now, how old was Grandma at the time?
Gosh, she had to have been maybe 75.
Really?
Yeah, around there.
Dang. Okay, so
She was-
obviously
she was
she's not
older.
running, but she was running that time.
She went quick.
She
She
was
ran
running
fast.
that time. Yeah. And,
Yeah.
and we took off. We got in the car and we took off. We went to did we go all the way back to Thea's house?
Yeah, we went all the way
Okay,
to
so,
your Aunt Mary's house.
Thea is Spanish for aunt. So in
Yeah.
case you hear Thea or Theo is for uncle. So we went back to my Thea Mary's house, my mom's sister, and you called from there and said that somebody had broken into the house, and because they had literally kicked the door in, but they shut it just enough
Mhm.
to where it looked like it was closed. And I remember we went back. There was a house in back of our house, and that house we rented out to another aunt.
Mhm.
And we were there, and you were with the officers, and you were walking around. They didn't steal anything but clothes.
Yeah.
And we stayed away from that house for 2 weeks.
Mhm.
My Theo Steve, my mom's brother, ended up going over there and putting some deadbolts and everything. The first night that we were there, we all slept in Grandma's
same
room.
room. And I slept across the door.
That's
So that
oh,
makes
that's
sure
right.
that door wasn't going to open. to
That's
nobody.
right. Well done, Mama
Yeah.
Bear. So
Yeah.
yeah. So Nathan says, was this the old funeral home house?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's not talk about that.
I was telling them about
That
it
was
last night.
creepy.
Yes, I was telling
you
them
were-
about it
oh
last
my
night
God.
when I was at their house.
Believe me, all that was real. That was real.
You see?
Yeah.
You see?
And when we go back to that small little town, Fenville, I don't know why. Sometimes when we go by that house,
I always have to look at it.
not me.
I do. I always have to
I
look
do-
at the house. I don't know
I
why.
do glance though, but I think,
Yes.
oh, it gives
Oh,
me still. the
Dawn says
creeps.
nobody broke in. It was the ghosts. It might have been. The ghosts were stealing clothes.
Yeah.
So-
Well, the funny thing was that afterwards we thought, well, maybe it's okay because maybe it's people that needed clothes because that's all they took.
that it was fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
that it was just somebody who
left all
took
the-
clothes and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
All the
um,
systems and everything were there. The TVs, things that you think that they would want to take.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
yeah, we had all types of stuff there, but it was clothes that they took. So
Yeah.
we're all that first night sleeping in grandma's room. You're the barricade. You're blocking the door.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
and I remember waking up in the middle of the night and hearing talking and not seeing you in the room.
Yeah.
And I remember opening the door a little bit and seeing you talking to an officer
Mhm.
that was there. And so what happened?
Well, I had to. Everybody was sleeping, and I heard this. The sound of we had a sliding door, and we had a board against it so that it wouldn't open. So when you would open it, it would shake, it would make noise, and I heard it, and I thought, oh my gosh, somebody's trying to break in because we had already been broken in. So then I waited there for a little while, and I heard it again. So then I called 911, and they said we'll be right there. They were there really fast too, which I was happy about that. But of course, it had happened already to us before, so they knew where to come. So, anyways, uh, I opened the door, and there's a bunch of flashlights all over the place, in the house, and I'm trying to sneak through, to get to the door to open the door to the policeman, and I finally open it, and he just like, "Hi, it's me." So, anyways, I opened the door, and he walked around the back where there was a deck where the sliding doors were, and there was footsteps. So actually, there was somebody there again trying to open the door, and it was a good thing that they didn't break in, but they checked and everything, and then one of the cars stayed out there all night, while we were there. But then in the morning, we packed up and left again for another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Because
pretty
your dad
crazy.
was gone, taking care of your
Yeah,
grandma.
he was
in
gone
Texas.
for a month
Yeah,
or two
yeah, 2
out there
months.
with them.
2
And
months, yeah.
that so so you make that phone call after that had happened, and or they called back or whichever, and they had told you, that's the officers out there.
Yeah,
Let them
yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
See, that's why I say that I believe that things like that happen because, I hang up, and they told me not to hang up, and I hung up. And they're on their way. Okay, don't hang up. Okay, hang up.
you see,
And
and
that's
we
what
tell
you do.
people, yeah.
And then a little while later, they call, and I pick it up, and they're saying, "We're there," and I said, "Where?" In front of your door. It's funny now, but it was really crazy then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, that's when I opened the door and I creeped out over there, and yeah, the officer was there. He said, "I had been standing here for a while knocking on your door." Until that phone rang. Yeah.
Oh
Mhm.
man, see, there's so
Yeah.
much stuff that happened
Yeah.
there at that house. But yeah, that was one of the things, that happened. And I mean, you had a more scary part in that because you
Yeah.
heard the door being, someone
Yeah.
trying to open it and stuff before you
Mhm.
called.
Yeah.
So I just remember, seeing Mom there, and then her telling me about it later, because I remember
Mm-hmm.
the officer had left and I asked you what happened, and then you told me, and I'm just
Yeah. 'Cause I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to, scare everybody again and stuff. But yeah. That was
yeah,
crazy.
that was pretty nuts. Someone quoted you on here. It says, if you wouldn't have hung up, you would know it is us.
Yes. I know.
That's so funny. Yeah. Well,
Yeah. Well,
and-
going back to that question that they ask me,
Yeah.
that's, there are some stories there that I think, whoa, did that really happen? Or that's crazy.
You can't make it up.
No.
It happens.
So then I think about
And
me.
you're proof.
And I think, yeah. It's like the guy with the chicken on next door. That
What?
the rooster. That remember that next door neighbor? The next door neighbor.
Yeah. I
The
remember the
one
next door
with
neighbor.
That tank. What was it? The dog's name?
The dog's name was Sarge.
No, not Sarge. The black one.
Oh,
was
yeah. It was
Tank
a
or Tang or something
yeah.
like that.
It was a big black dog. His name was Tank.
Anyways,
Yeah.
they had chickens.
Yeah.
And and then in the daytime,
You can't even get the story out.
there's a police car that comes, and I thought, holy cow, what's going on? They came over and they said, ma'am, can I ask you a few questions? And I'm like, uh-huh. And they said, did you hear about all the mess that was next door last night? And I said, no. I said, I heard noise and everything. He said, well, we were next door. They were fighting over a rooster. I'm like, huh? I said, fighting over a rooster? I thought, do people call for that? I didn't think of it then, though. I was thinking a rooster. And he said, yeah, somebody has stolen one of their chickens. And they called 911. What?
It happens.
And so they wanted to know if I knew anything about it and if I had seen their chickens. And I thought, I don't know. I just said, no, I don't know anything about it.
But I have some eggs for you.
Kind of crazy. Yeah. So yeah, going back to that question. Yeah,
Yeah,
things
Dawn,
like that happen.
Dawn, the person, she's the one who asked, and she says right here, yes, they call for that.
You see? Yeah.
I didn't know that
Uh-huh.
one.
Yeah.
Unless you told me and I just don't
Uh-huh.
remember, but that's pretty funny.
Yeah. And that was nuts. So that's why I think, yeah, it happens. Because it happened to me.
Yeah, there you go. Twice.
Yes.
And on two different ends there.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so we went through when I got caught skipping in the other thing here. So there's a couple of other ones that I want to get to before we wrap up this episode. So look at somebody put, I think those are chicken emojis. So
Yeah.
okay, so there was a time that my parents bought this brand new refrigerator,
Cool.
and it was pretty cool because the box was enormous. And what happened?
Well, we just had bought the refrigerator, and we took the box and we put it in the back because of course we're gonna burn it. And the kids were running around it. Rich was too, and he kept hitting the the big old box. And we told him, Rich, whatever you do not get in the box. No, okay, don't let the kids, don't drop it because it's gonna, you guys are gonna get hurt. Okay, we're just gonna set up the fridge and all that will be out. Okay. So next thing we go outside and we're looking around. Rich, where are you? And then he just looks around from the box, and Nando goes, and I said, what? I said, where are the cuatas at? Where are the twins at? They're his sisters. And Nando just points to the box.
Nando is
Fernando.
is-
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
my younger brother. It's
Yeah.
Fernando, but we call him Nando.
Yeah. And I tell him, they're in the box. And he says, yeah. And Rich says, I don't know. And yep, they were in the box. All right. So say your part. So there he goes again, getting in trouble.
Okay, first, really quick, the gray appliance that I think you're talking about is the Ninja air fryer that they have.
Oh.
Somebody asked, someone was like, off topic, what's the big gray appliance behind you?
Yeah, it's an
A
air
bread
fryer.
maker?
Welcome to my kitchen.
Yeah, I know.
This is my kitchen.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh.
yeah, they were in the box. Well, a different thing that we ended up doing though is my brother and I got in the box, and what we were doing is we would, if you pushed hard enough, you could make the box flip up and stand up, and we would pretend like we were like boxing in there and everything, and then we would make it fall back and then go up and fall back, and we kept doing this over and over and over and over, and it was to us it was fun. It was the most fun thing. probably more fun because you guys told us not to do it.
Yeah.
And we did it anyway. So our sisters are out there running around, and they're like, let us get in too. We're like, all right, come on. And as soon as they got close, we would whoop, make it go up. and then we would drop it down and then make it go up again and drop down. Well, the other neighbor had a big German Shepherd named Sarge, and that dog would come and run after us. And this is so bad. And my sisters are sitting over there, so they're probably gonna give me a dirty look here in a minute. But the dog was running towards us, and they're like, let us in. And we made the box go up to where they couldn't get in, and they're like, boom, 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 boom. They're like, help us. And then we dropped it, and they got in, and everything was
Yeah, they were in
everything was
trouble.
okay. My sister looked at me. She's like, bring the sisters on too, they said.
Oh, that one went.
Oh, one is actually crashed out. There's only one other one over
might be
here,
come say
and
hi.
she's reading a book, it looks like.
Tell her. to come
Okay,
in.
so you couldn't hear that, but I'm trying to hear what she had said too, because I have the headphones on. But she said that what we left out was the fact that we did let them go back in, and we flipped the box up, but they were too small to end up pushing it back over, so they were stuck in the box. That must have been when you guys came out.
Yes, probably.
Oh man.
Just come say hi.
Let's see. So Poppy says here, Rich, what is your favorite comfort food that your mom makes? So it would have to be just straight up homemade tortillas. Put some butter in there, melt it, and oh yeah.
And that's what I've been doing yesterday morning.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
Love you. Lavelle says mean brothers. I know. Don too. She's like, y'all so mean. Yeah, I have nothing else to say. We could be I don't know if you heard her, but she's like, jerks. You guys were jerks. But we had fun. That's the thing. We had fun. No? No? Okay. I thought we were having fun. So that was one of the things, was the fridge box. Now, there was another time, and this has to do with switches. I'm not talking like light switches. I'm talking about like switches.
Oh.
You can go ahead and start this one.
Oh, about the barn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we used to live at the house where the funeral home is. Where there was a big barn, and it was all falling apart and everything, and it was way at the back. And we always, maybe the key was not to say don't do it, and we just didn't know it.
Well, I
'Cause we
mean,
just-
it's basically like a red button when you tell us, or
Yeah,
a
don't do it.
button. Yeah,
Don't push it.
don't push the button. You're like,
Yeah. Oh my god. And we would tell them, they'd play around this willow tree that was between the house, the willow tree, and then the barn. And we would tell them, just play by the willow, don't go nowhere else. Just stay there. It was in the back of the house, so it was the back of the yard. And I would go and check out on them, every now and then. And of course, Rich is like 7 years older than the twins, and 6 years older than Fernando. And Big Brother was supposed to take care of them most of the time. But anyway, we're telling Rich, just watch him for a little while so, we can get things done in the house, or I could get things done in the house. And he says, yeah, okay. So I told him, just play by the willow tree, and they were out there. And then maybe not even 15 minutes later, I walk out there to check, and I think, well, where did they go? And I said, Richie, where are you? Nowhere to be found. I looked around the house, and it took me a while, looking around and everything. As soon as I start walking up the deck, I turn around, and there's Richie's head sticking out from the barn. And then I said, get out of here right now. And he says, wait, I gotta get the guatas. They told me they wanted to come to the barn. And then I said, you guys get over here right now. But I didn't say it like that. I was yelling at him to hurry up and
The
get over
barn
here.
was really cool.
Yeah, it was falling apart. But and there was anyways. So anyways, I got him to get over there. And by the time they got there, the twins and Fernando were already in tears. Rich told us to go, that it was okay. And Rich kept saying, no, they went. Of course, they were blaming each other. And I said, you know what?
We wanted to explore is what we wanted to do.
Yeah. Sure. You explored, all right.
Oh, man.
So my mom comes out of the door behind me. She says, what's going on? Because she heard everybody crying. And I said, they were in the barn. I told them not to go in the barn. And she says, well, just tell them to play around the willow tree. I said, that's what I told them. So I turned around and I told them, you know what you guys going to do? You're going to, well, you know how willow trees, they grow their limbs all the way down, almost touch the ground. And I told them, you go over there to that willow tree and you pick yourself a little switch. Pronto vayan y lo traigan. Hurry up
Holy
and go
crap.
get it. I always tell them, I always tell my kids, when you start hearing me talking Spanish, you know you're in trouble.
Oh, you freaked me out there. Like I'm right back at that moment.
Yeah. So anyways, they were over there trying to cut some pieces of the willow tree and they brought them. Of course, they thought that the thinner and the skinnier they were going to hurt less. Well, those hurt the most. But they brought them and they were all in tears. And Rich kept saying, Mom, please don't. Please don't. So they came up to the deck and they were all walking up to the deck. And I grabbed the little willow tree switches and I put them all in a little row. And I said, okay, you know what? I'm not going to do it. But next time I'm going to leave them here. Next time I'm going to use them. And they all went inside. And anyways, they couldn't see TV for a while. They were grounded. Oh.
So there's a little more to that. Not just that part, but this was maybe a few days later or a while. I don't know how long later it was, but
Grandma.
yes. So
Yeah.
Granny, Mom's mom. So she is outside hanging towels to dry.
Mm-hmm.
And the line went from this huge tree that we had to the willow tree. And my brother and I are climbing the tree. We had our wrestling buddies, Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior, and we had them up there and we're like wrestling in this tree and we're throwing them down and getting back up and, doing all this stuff. And our grandmother is telling us not to get on the tree. Like she's sweetest person, but she was actually getting agitated with us. And we're just being little punks, because we're like, nah, okay, we'll get down. But we would go back up. And we kept doing this over and over and over. And she kept saying, I'm going to tell your mom and dad. But she was saying it in Spanish. She's like, I'm going to tell your mom and dad when they get here.
Say it in Spanish.
No, because it'll take me too far back. And, oh, man. And so we continue, right? We continue. Yeah. And finally she's like, oh, come here. And we're like, oh, what? Like, and she's like, come and check this out really quick. And I don't know why, but we're like, oh, she's got something cool. Like fools. So we jump off the tree, something that she had told us already too, not to do because we were going to get hurt. And she goes, check those things out. Pick one out for me. I want to see them. And I was like, oh, okay. And I picked one out, not thinking, and we're both wearing shorts. and she got one from me and she's like, oh, look at this. And wasas. She's like, orale.
Yep.
She cracked us on our shins. And I remember jumping up and she was so fast. She got Nando too. Like again, sweetest grandmother ever, but we brought her to that point. and really, I don't think Dawn, oh, you picked your own Switch. Yes. Yeah, we picked our own Switch thinking that we were going to see something cool. Well, we saw something cool. Grandma
They
saw
how
something
high we
cool.
could jump.
Yeah, right. We got some air. Yes, we could have won the slam dunk contest that day. But yeah, she was so fast. She was just Sauce got me and Sauce got my brother, and we're all She's
But
like,
they
"Ya
got off
ves,
the tree.
órale, ya ves." What is this, mamá? We're like, no, like, don't tell mom. And then tu papá también. We're like, no, not dad too. Like, you already got us. We're donezo. Like, it's okay. We can't walk. No, it wasn't that bad. She barely swatted us. It was more the sound and the fact that she did it. Like, because we kept messing around. And
It
yeah.
was the fact that Grandma did it.
Right.
It was more hurting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Than what it really hurt.
I think there was one time that she did throw a chancla at us. Because we weren't listening about something, and she
Yep.
grabbed her sandal and just. I'm sure, I couldn't see her, but I'm sure she's like, yes,
Yeah.
got him.
Yeah. They got into a lot of mischief.
Oh
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something else that I will
Mhm.
never forget. I love and miss Grandma so much and everything, but that time it was so funny because even when she was living here, with mom and my sisters, I remember being here, and she would be cooking, at that stove and stuff, and I would goose her, and I would goose her on the side, and she'd go, "Ay." and I would laugh so hard with her, and I would say, okay, I'll stop. I'm sorry. And then I would do it again, and I remember she grabbed the spatula and she's like, crack, right on the side of my arm, like, what? And she's like, ya ves, and like, do it again, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh man, yes,
That's crazy.
it was such a good time.
Ah.
Such an excellent time.
Mhm.
So that was a story that I wanted to end with because grandma was awesome. Again, sweetest lady. But man, if you agitate,
Be careful.
she will retaliate. So it was so much fun. Thank you, all of you, for joining us tonight for this very special episode of Open Mic Live, where I got to introduce you to my mom and see what. And
I should introduce that one over there, just to say.
did you want to come over here really quick just to say hello?
So they can see what one of your daughters.
One of my sisters.
Oh my God, it's getting late.
Yeah, you can come around this way as long as you don't drop the camera. Okay, really quick before we log off here. So hello.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is my sister Devon. My sister Crystal, I believe, is passed out. She's got to work tomorrow.
She's a twin, so she looks like her.
Oh,
but with
yeah.
red hair.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So there you go. Thank you all again so much for joining us and hearing these stories and just laughing.
Yes, yes.
Such a good time. Thank you for everything that you all do, for the job that you do each and every single day, and for the support that you give for everything that I do. Thank you so much. I wouldn't be able to do this without all of you. So thank you. I've got someone here saying, wow, she is gorgeous.
Yeah.
That hair. Her fiance is over there saying she's taken.
Yeah.
Oh man. So again, which one opened the door the other day? That was my sister Crystal. This is my sister Devon. Yes.
Yeah.
So again, thank you all very much. I appreciate it. All of you joining again every Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern, here on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube to just share stories and all. And this was so much fun. Thank you, Mom, for being on and for showing me what's up. Thank you for everything. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This has been so much fun. Thank you. This live broadcast has been sponsored by InDigital as well as Rapid Deploy. If you have any comments, questions, or you ever want to be a guest on the show, you can email us, and that's going to be wttpodcast@gmail.com. There it is right there. Once again, wttpodcast@gmail.com. This show will always be free, but if you were looking for any bonus content, behind the scenes series stuff, the early access to episodes, ad-free, swag, discounts to the store, all of that stuff, you can check us out there on patreon.com/WTT podcast. And thank you to all the patrons so much. A big shout out to all the new patrons. And again, I wouldn't be able to do everything that I do if it wasn't for all of you, as well as the sponsors. So I appreciate it more than you know. This episode can be seen 24/7 on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And when I add the audio version, it can be heard 24/7 on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and withinthetrenches.net. Thank you all very much. And also make sure to stay tuned, because the Denise Amber Lee Foundation, as well as Within the Trenches Media, we did an announcement yesterday, as well as put a press release out that we are going to be partnering up for Be the Difference 2021. So a lot of that coming on, as well as a bunch of stuff with Dare to Be Great 2 coming out October 6th through the 9th. Again, thank you all very much. And Don says, where's Nando? Nando is either in the comments or he is back home in Indiana. Deuces. We'll check you guys later. Have a good one.